And should we instead concentrate on encouraging a reduction in the overall demand of energy within buildings, particularly in relation to buildings of historic interest? I think we raised earlier in terms of offsetting energy demand, but should that be our first port of call, is improving a building's performance as opposed to sort of an add-on? Does anyone have any views on that?
I would just like to raise the issue of air conditioning again at this point, and you know, let's somebody mentioned it earlier when just as I was coming in about opening windows. I mean, I really do feel that we should, you know, and the use of materials in buildings as well to deflect sunlight, for example. You know, we've got them here. You know, use of blinds, and you know, we shouldn't always just allow people to put in more and more air conditioning units, because they use even more energy than heating, so I understand.
So there should be a general presumption of refusal of air conditioning.
Definitely. I think that would, you know, we've got to learn to live in a warmer climate, because it does seem to be getting warmer, but we've got to adapt our building materials for that instead of using air conditioning units.
There's a gentleman down here.
Just on the point on air conditioning, I mean, this is now controlled under the building regulations, and I think you've got to be careful you don't conflate planning and building regulations. Under the approach on building regulations, if you do put in air conditioning, you have to offset it against other things that you're doing. And there are some buildings, in just the way they've been designed, particularly when we sort of had a energy future sort of predicated on oil, where really the only way you can cool those buildings, especially during the hot summers, is by using air conditioning. So I think you have to be a little bit more sort of open to sort of different approaches to sort of offsetting the adverse effects of air conditioning, rather than just having a blanket ban.
Okay. Oh, there's a gentleman here.
Michael Jones, Portman Estates. I think there's a role here for Westminster, whether it's through policy or not, to help to educate some people. There's an awful lot of advice out there about sustainability at the moment, and it's conceivable that somebody could get as much advice from their local DIY store as from any other reputable source. And I think there is an onus on Westminster to make sure that people consider all of the issues when they're thinking about sustainability, and not just go for perhaps a knee-jerk tokenism effect on their roof or whatever method.
So perhaps even looking at the life costs of the installation and whether it genuinely adds up over time. Okay.